Hello, my friends, and welcome to another Watch with Ray with me, Ray. This is a this is like a kind of a spin-off for Chick Lit Book Club podcast where I talk about different series, romantic series or books to screen. So we call it page to screen. We'll be doing some of that on this channel. But this is the 6th episode of Miss Scarlet and the Duke of the first season. And I've enjoyed this series so far. I have to really think if I'm gonna keep going on with it, because I know that the third season's will just make me angry. So I don't know if it's behooved me to get my blood pressure up that much. But we'll see. I might do. I'll try to work. Do the second season because I'm really excited now because this episode was really good. But we'll see. So this episode is called "The Case of Henry Scarlet," and again, we know Henry is Eliza's father, and he supposedly died of natural causes, but we think it might have been something else, not natural causes. So, she's been, if you remember in the last episode, she's on the trail of, I would assume, like, she finds out that she thinks her father was actually murdered, not actually, he didn't die of a heart attack. We find out very quickly. I'm not going to go into a lot of this because I don't really want to spoil it. Because from what I understand, the second series doesn't. It kind of is like, there's no cliffhanger here. So I'm kind of wanting to not spoil the big mystery because it is so good that I'm like, dang, I don't want to really do that to you guys. Like, I really want you guys to watch it. So I might just be like, I'll get to a point. I think I'm just going to cut it off. And I'm going to be like, just kind of just glossing over a lot of this because, again, I don't want to give away the mystery on this one. And moving forward, I might do that too. Is like, I won't go to all the ins and outs of the episodes just because I don't mean, if it's good, I don't want you to, I want you to watch it. So we learn, like, the first thing we learn in this episode is that Henry was forced to drink some sort of poison. And so we found out it's the forgers. There was this huge forging setup that Will and Eliza found at that prison in the last episode. And come to find out, it is like the biggest forgery racket that they've ever in the history of London. Like, it's $70,000, which I think I said last time they were thinking it was 30, which I think 30 was like, I don't know how, like a couple million, 5 million, I think it was back, at today's time. So if you imagine 70,000 is double that, and with interest. But so we're still like, at the end of last episode, we learned that, like, somebody knows Eliza's on the trail. So she's on house arrest through most of this episode. The other thing that's big here is that Rupert, Mr. Parker, who I freaking love this character. I love him so much, which we don't have any, now that I think about it, we don't have closure on him. So I'm hoping, I don't think he's in the second season. So I'm kind of disappointed with that because he's so cute. I love him so much. But he has, and he's been like, working his love magic on that, Hildegard. And, because he wants to, like, have this very long drawn out, engagement because he doesn't want to get married because he's gay. So but now she's, like, in love with him and she's adamant that they are getting married. And so Eliza's like, just tell her no. Like, I kind of was pissed at Eliza on this one a little bit because I'm like, this is like her good friend, business partner, like pretty much, angel investor in her detective agency. And he's coming to her for, like, some genuine, like, you're my friend, advice. And she like blurs them off. I know that it comes to life and death and blah, 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 blah. But give your friend like 5 minutes of your time, just 5, and just be like, okay, Rupert, set it all out. Like, and she kind of blew him off, and I didn't like that. But you know, and then that's all I'm going to say. Will has put 2 guards, like on 2 guards at her house. So she, like I said, she's on like house arrest, sort of. And suddenly she's like planning a breakout with Rupert, and he's like, "Well, we don't really need to do that because your police officers are gone." She's like, "The fuck?" So she goes to meet Moses because she's been trying to get information. She's been using him to get information like about Nathaniel Kane, who we learned at the last episode was like the forger that was helping them. Like he was coerced into helping the forgers make the money, print the money. He's dead. So we also learned that his guard was drugged by somebody. And that's how a woman brought him a draft of tea, like a tea with a draft of sleepy sleep, as I call it, sleepy sleep in it. And he was then the killer was then able to gain entry and murder Nathaniel Kane. So so Moses was looking for information about anything he could find about Nathaniel for Eliza, because she's trying to do her, since she can't leave, he's her eyes and ears out on the street. We come to find out that Nathaniel had a brother, Benjamin, and Benjamin had come to Scotland Yard months ago and was like, "My brother has not been home. It's not like him, maybe a couple days, but a week? No, he wouldn't be gone this long." And he was threatened by someone at Scotland Yard. I'm not gonna tell you who. And at one point, I think I'm gonna come to a couple more things and then I'm gonna stop. It comes to find out that Will ends up having to stay at Eliza's. And there is some serious sexual tension in this episode. Holy shit. Like, this man. But the thing is, he says shit that makes me so angry at the same time. Like, at one point, he admonishes one of the policemen for not keeping Scarlet in the carriage. Like, that he left. He's like, told the guard to not let her out of his sight. He's like, "What did you want me to do? Manhandle her?" He's like, "Yes, if that's..." I was like, no, Will. No. Those are not good points on my... Those are... You're getting points deducted, sir. No one's manhandling any ladies in this show. But they're making eggs. Like, boiling eggs. And this scene... He goes in for it. He's going to kiss her. And she's just like, well, like, every moment, I've noticed this with this show. Every time it comes down to, it's pretty obvious that Will is in love with her. I mean, it's pretty freaking obvious. But I think Eliza's the one that keeps, like, pushing him away. Because, at one point he asks her to dinner and she's yes. And that the date doesn't, happen like they planned it. And he's a little pissed off because she's kind of like doesn't care. She's like, "Well, you didn't do this for me, so not going out with you." And I don't know, I think she cares for him. I don't know if she's at the same place he is and I don't think she wants to be, because I think she's, hey, I'm a lady. I'm trying to make my own money, because the other thing, what am I going to do? Is I get married and I become someone's property. Cool. Or I can stay single, continue being a detective and like have a personality and have some independence. And, because there's so many times where there's so many times that, characters have said to her, like, don't you want to be married? Like, even Will said in the last episode, well, at some point in the future, this like running around is going to be a moot point because somebody's going to like kind of like take you in hand. I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. And I think there was a couple episodes back where somebody was like, don't you want to be married? She's like, no, I don't need to be. And I think this time period too is really cool in England in general. I mean, women still treated like property in some ways, because like you're talking like this is like that middle range where she is not gentry, but she's not like, I mean, she has servants. They had people, they had maids and stuff, but like they're not, and she has a reputation. Because at one point she's like, think of my reputation. Because he wants her to take care of her, to watch her. Will wants her to stay at his place, and she's like, absolutely fucking not. She's like, my reputation will be in tatters. And he's like, well, you don't obviously worry about your reputation going up, blah, 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 will shit. And she's like, you're staying at my house because at least it's then like people will see, oh, he's guarding her, because there'll be police officers there too. So, yeah, it's a very interesting time period because she can have a job and she can work. And yes, people will still look down on her for having a job, but she, this house is hers. Like, she has the lease on the house. This detective agency is hers. Which I think is pretty awesome. I mean, you start to see the women becoming very independent in England, and I think that's super awesome to me. It's super cool. And I mean, unfortunately, we didn't have it as much here at that point in America at that time. So, yeah, England was just a little further ahead than we were. They start to work at one point. They've kind of like, there's so many files to go through and so few hands to do them, and Will has resorted to locking Scarlet up, or Eliza up, in one of the jail cells, and so he allows her to help go through the records. And so she gets this little record, like this filing system of, have you gone through the records, which piles to put them in, and very methodical, thought out, logical sort of thing. But all these files at some point are burned. Shocker. Because someone's trying to hide some evidence. And I think at the same time, there's also a masked man that has been going on, like when the first shot, when Henry's drinking the poison, and one of the last shots in the last episode, there was a guy that came out, like, not a plague mask, more like a gas mask, like a weird combination of a gas mask and it was supposed to be some sort of gas mask because they were fumigating the jail due to oh shoot, what was it? Smallpox, I think. Anyhow, I could go back and look that up, but I'm not going to. So, because fuck it. And so, it's a weird character. It's a weird design. I love it because it's creepy as shit. And you know how I love creepy things. I don't know what that says about me. I mean, it says a lot about me, but it's all right. So, there's this figure that is, now like showing up all over the place with this mask. So you have that character that's like in the background too. And I think that's where I'm going to end it, because I think that the mystery itself is so good, and it's such a build up to this that it's amazing. I like it. I like it a lot. Just know that there's more than one almost kiss in this episode. Like, just what? Well, I guess the second one isn't an almost kiss, but it's definitely like there is some. There's a little tension going on. Let's see. If I had to rate this one, I would rate it definitely a strong A. I thought it was really good. it's rewatchable too. I think that's the other thing. I think it's one of those ones you would want to rewatch it to catch all the little things you didn't get the first time. I don't know if I'd say that for very many of the other ones in this season, but this one for sure. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I actually, I'm going to go into the second season. I'll see what I feel like. First couple episodes. What I might start doing is doing them together. So it might just be like 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. So we'll see. We'll see. Coming up, we just released last week we released an episode, Practice Makes Perfect, by Sarah Adams. We both, Veronica and I loved it. And speaking of Veronica, her book was published. So please, I'm putting it up to the camera. This is my co-host. She wrote a book. It's beautiful. It's about two widowed people who meet, fall in love, and are struggling through their grief at the same time. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's thick. Look at that. It's THICC, thick. But it's called Meet Me at Home, and her name is Veronica Wynne. So I would totally recommend it. Those fans of the podcast and of this show, you can get on Amazon. I believe it's free through Kindle Unlimited. But if you want a sexy paperback, because this is a gorgeous book, you can buy it there too. Let's see. In upcoming, we have a new Chloe Lease book coming out that we're reviewing this weekend. I haven't read it yet, so I don't remember what it is. It's one of the last of the Bergman Brothers series of Chloe Lease, which we love all the Chloe Lease books, so I'm sure I'm gonna love it. So stay tuned. We have some good things coming up. I'm very excited. Veronica's gonna do some stuff. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, so happy reading.